getting on a ride home from the gym. I just finished up work. I usually get to work around 6 a.m., so I'll leave my house around about 5:30. Take me about 10 minutes to get home, to get to work. Usually it's pretty dark, but this thing's got 4 very powerful headlights. I do ask that you please forgive my camera angle, because I'm using my cell phone. I don't have a proper, GoPro or anything fancy just yet. But I thought some people would like to, get the feel for this ride and, how. Right now I'm just one motor. Using one motor right now, so the power isn't, fully there. If I really needed to, some extra horsepower, I can put this in dual motors, and this thing will take off faster than a car off the line. Yeah, everything I have on here is stock. I have no extra parts, no aftermarket, stock brakes, stock everything. The stock suspension is actually surprisingly very, very smooth. So it's got the dual springs in the back and then the fork style suspension in the front. Yeah, I probably haven't charged this thing in about 2 weeks. Right now it's giving me, there's 2 screens on here. There's a big main screen that's cut into the camera view right now, and then there's a little screen where my throttle is. The speedometer that's on the main display seems to be accurate. The one that's on the throttle seems to not be as accurate, because I tested it out with GPS. It's about a mile or 2 off, but it's still pretty accurate. The fastest I've really gone on this thing was like 40, and that's pushing it. This scooter is primarily used for me just getting back and forth to work, because I haven't had a license in a couple of years. I had some issues, but I haven't worked past that. I got a decent job now. I started as a part-time worker at a grocery store, and now I'm a manager there. I was able to save up a lot of money, actually, and I pretty much used my bonus to buy this bike. This part's always a little nerve-wracking when I'm heading on a main street like this. I do not use this for highways or anything like that. This is strictly for pretty much around town travel. I will caution folks who do ride these to be careful in bike lanes. You should not be speeding in a bike lane. It's hard to tell with my camera view. I'm going to probably get it fixed. If I'm going to use my cell phone, I'm going to at least fix the camera view a little bit. But you can see there on the right, there's a big pipe right in the bike lane. Right here, I usually hang towards the edge because there's always debris and stuff from like an industrial park. So I'll kind of hug the road. I keep my eyes open on the road. You don't want to, roll into any holes or anything. You just saw that, how fast that guy came up. That's the shit you gotta watch out for, and that's primarily why I don't go fast. If that dude would have pulled out, I would have been mashed, so you just keep your eyes open. A lot of drivers, they just don't understand, electric bikes and scooters. They almost are mad at you sometimes that you're riding. And it's so strange to me, because when I was driving, I always made sure to, give bicycle people and, motorcycles enough room keep them at ease. I do have a lot of respect for drivers that, they'll see me on the shoulder or the bike lane and they'll still give me way plenty of room. Right now, I'm cruising down to the big hill. It's fairly windy right now. So the thing is, on an electric scooter, when it's windy, because the handlebars are so high, you just hold on. Just hold on tight, you know what I mean? Right there's a big dirt patch right in the middle of the fucking road, or bike lane. And then even like a curb like this. So towards the right of that curb, it was a large, bigger dip than it was on the left side. So you got to pick your areas. An e-bike with bigger tires probably wouldn't have an issue. This probably wouldn't have an issue either. But what's the sense of chance in that? This thing's got 13-inch tires, so it will pretty much run through, really any obstacle that's in the road. I don't know about you guys, but I do stop for red lights, so. But yeah, it's great weather right now for a ride. You guys can see on the top right, looks like a little construction zone, traffic. The bike lane is going to be blocked off. So I'm kind of just hugging the part of the road. Back into my lane. Back in. Right now I have this thing, like I was saying, it's in single motor mode, and I was riding it on dual motors for a while. I'm just casually always riding on dual motors because I love the way it just pulls, but I just don't think that's the most efficient way to ride. You're just trying to enjoy the ride. Something like right now I got it in mode 1. I just dropped it down. Yeah, and I think mode 1, it'll only get up to about 22, 23. And if I flip over to mode 2, I'll start having more pull. I'll probably get up to 36. And mode 3 probably 45. And I think the only way you're actually going to touch speeds of 50 plus is you gotta be in dual motors. This guy cuts way. I'll probably flip it into dual motors right now just because there's a truck behind me and I want to get a little bit ahead of him. Then there's a big hill. The thing is with this scooter, it's so heavy, it's 150 pounds. When you're going downhill, it just travels. It just picks up more and more speed. So as you can see, I was able to take off way faster than probably that guy was expecting me to. I hate breaking at a fucking Well, I kind of let him get better. condone speeding, especially down hills, just because of how sketchy it is. Like, your reaction time. I don't know if you guys call it that, but it doesn't matter. I'm a big supporter of bike lanes, and I think there's more bike lanes. I don't think there's enough. I know some people that ride bicycles don't like e-bikes in bike lanes because, they feel it's dangerous. I disagree. I think if you're just, being a normal citizen, it's not really that dangerous. I would suggest never riding these on the sidewalk unless it's absolutely have to. I only do it when I absolutely have to, or if it's like really, really late at night or early in the morning. Also, one thing to add, I sit down most of the time when I ride it. I do stand up on occasion, but when I'm just casually riding, I'll sit. But when if you want more performance, you're gonna probably want to stand for weight distribution purposes. I just think it's easier to stabilize these type of vehicles when you're standing with how long the stems are and everything. But it actually is surprisingly very comfortable as a sit-down ride on too. So it looks, it doesn't look it when you first see it, and you're thinking like, oh, that doesn't look very comfortable. But when you get on it and actually riding around, it's pretty comfortable. So far I've ridden 3 miles on here, and the bike total has 73 miles, and I would have had more miles, but I actually fell and broke my arm. Funny story was, it was actually on my scooter like the second day, and I learned a pretty good lesson to not do certain things when I'm on it. Right now I'm going up a very steep hill, and I'm in duals, and this thing's just moving. So I just did 25 miles per hour and I barely put a quarter throttle on. You will see your battery drop when you're going up a very steep hill and it's using power. Your battery meter will drop. Then I think once the bike centers itself and then you let off the throttle, it goes back up. So sometimes it's kind of hard to tell how much battery you really have, because the main display meter is telling me I'm full. The secondary display is telling me I'm at about 80%, 4/5 of a battery. So I'm going to assume it's probably even less than that, considering how long it's been since I charged it. I haven't charged this battery in a while. We had a lot of rain recently, so one thing for me is I live in a big apartment complex, so I if I want to bring it inside, I gotta go up 4 steps, then I gotta go down 6 steps, and when you're moving a scooter of this weight, it doesn't look like it'd be hard, but it's extremely difficult, and I cannot afford to be screwing around trying to get my scooter out of my house when I need to go to work. So I actually do leave it outside, and now before you get on it, it's under a very good overhang. When there is severe weather, I'll bring it into the community center, but I keep it under a very good overhang, and I have a very good tarp that I keep over. It's like a bike cover, so it kind of actually, it completely covers the bike. It snaps in, clicks in, and everything. I tested it, I checked it when it was raining to see, and there wasn't one drop of water. I know water can probably still get in it, but I always make sure it's dry. So just the thing, as long as you just keep these things dry, I think there's some water resistance to this bike. But if you guys want to know how I broke my arm, if you're a new scooter rider, I was probably 3 days into taking the scooter home. I probably owned it for about 3-4 days, and I probably only went on a couple trips. I was riding to work. I had work at 12. I'm just riding along in the bike lane, and I say, hey, let me just hop over to the curb because there was a lot of traffic. But the curb was probably 4 inches off the ground. And I was moving at a very slow speed, probably 10 miles per hour. And I just flew right off the thing. You can't do that on these bikes. It's not, a bicycle can do that, but you cannot do that on a scooter. Even with the wheels as big as they are on here, it won't work. Especially at the speed I was going, I didn't have any momentum going over that curb, so it just took me out. The wheel just kind of went off to the side. I just fell right off, and pretty hard too. It hit my head pretty hard on concrete, but I had a helmet. Yes, very, very sketchy. After I hit my head and I got back on my bike and I went to work, I was there for about 3 hours, and then I had to leave because the pain was brutal. As far as the bike, I was actually a lot more concerned with the bike because, or I keep calling it a bike or scooter because I just got that thing. I didn't see any damage on it. Cosmetically, there was a few little scrapes on it. It looks like the wheel took most of the hit. The wheel took most of the hit on that. So the wheel took most of the hit. I didn't really see too much damage on it. Yeah, other than that, I mean, I looked at the rotor and everything, and the brake pads and the brakes, everything seemed straightened out. I rode it, didn't hear any funny noises or anything. It looks like it took the brunt of the hit on the actual tire and one of the forks for the suspension. There was a little bit of a scrape on there, but the crash itself wasn't a hard crash. It was falling off. That's what got me. Me falling off the scooter at the height the scooter is, and then landing on straight concrete. Alright fellas, I'm going to be heading in now, so I'll keep posting more videos if anybody finds this interesting. Sorry, I'm not much of a speaker. I don't really ever speak. I don't like the way my voice sounds on recordings. But if any of you guys want more or want to know more about this scooter, I'm happy to share my first experiences. This is my first electric scooter, and with me breaking my arm and the first few rides I've had it, I definitely learned a lesson the hard way. And yeah, I think I'm a much better rider now. Alright, have a good one.